My girlfriend declared, "I'm not letting go of my ex. Deal with it." I said calmly, "Okay." She smiled. "I knew you'd understand." I continued, "I'll go solo from here." Her confused, "What does that mean?" I replied, "It means you keep your ex. I keep my dignity. Goodbye." Her shocked, "You're breaking up with me?" Got my response. I, 29, male, just ended an 8-month relationship over a conversation that lasted maybe 3 minutes. Still feels surreal, honestly. My girlfriend Megan, 27, and I met through mutual friends at a brewery crawl in Denver. Chemistry was instant. We moved kind of fast, started staying over at each other's places within a month, made things official pretty quick. She was funny, smart, had this whole creative energy thing going. Worked as a marketing coordinator for some healthcare company downtown. Always had interesting stories about difficult clients and campaign launches. Everything was solid until about 4 weeks ago, when her ex Chad started texting again. They dated for like 3 years before me, broke up 10 months before we met. She told me it ended because he wasn't financially stable, kept jumping between real estate gigs instead of building a consistent career. Said she needed security and he couldn't provide it. Cool. Everyone has exes. Didn't bother me initially. We'd even been talking about her moving in when her lease expires in March. Recently said, "I love you," about 2 months back, and things felt like they were heading somewhere serious. But then Chad reached out saying he'd changed, landed a solid position with a major real estate firm, was making around 85–90K in commission, wanted to apologize for everything. She showed me the messages, said she just wanted closure. Fair enough, right? I told her to do what she needed to do. They met for coffee once. Then it became a regular thing. Twice a week turned into almost daily texts. I'd see his name pop up on her phone constantly during our Netflix nights. Good morning texts, late evening conversations, real estate memes, inside jokes from their past. I brought it up maybe 2 weeks ago. "Hey, you and Chad are talking a lot lately." She got defensive immediately. "So? We're just friends now. Adults can be friends with their exes." I get that, but it's kind of excessive. You're texting him more than you text me. That's not true. You're being insecure. Classic deflection. But I dropped it because I didn't want to be that controlling guy. Last week, she canceled our Friday dinner plans last minute. Said she was exhausted from work and needed to decompress. I understood. Her job can be stressful with campaign deadlines. Told her, "No worries, get some rest." 3 hours later, she posted an Instagram story. Her and Chad at some craft brewery in Rhino. She was wearing the new sweater she'd bought specifically for our dinner date. I screenshotted it, didn't say anything, just filed it away mentally. Saturday, she came over like nothing happened. I asked about her restful night in. "Oh yeah, I felt way better after some alone time." "Cool, saw you were at Ratio Beer Works." She froze for like half a second. "Oh yeah, Chad had an extra ticket to this industry thing last minute. Didn't think you'd be into real estate networking anyway." Not an apology, not even acknowledgement that lying was messed up, just justification. I let it go because I was still processing. Then came Tuesday afternoon. She was at my downtown apartment, both of us working from home. I was answering client emails in the living room. She was on the couch, supposedly working on some healthcare campaign. Chad called, not texted, called. She answered immediately, got up, walked into my bedroom and closed the door. They talked for 30 minutes. I know because I stared at the clock on my laptop the whole time, getting progressively more done with this situation. She came out smiling, didn't mention the call at all. Just sat back down like it was normal to have half-hour private phone conversations with your ex while at your boyfriend's apartment. I waited maybe 10 minutes, then said it. "I need to talk to you about Chad." Eye roll. Actual eye roll. "Here we go again. You lied about Friday. You're talking to him constantly. You just spent half an hour on the phone with him in my bedroom. This isn't friendship anymore. You're being controlling. I'm allowed to have male friends. He's not just some male friend. He's your ex-boyfriend of 3 years, who you're clearly still emotionally involved with." She stood up, arms crossed. "So what? You're giving me an ultimatum? It's him or you." I'm saying what you're doing isn't respectful to our relationship. You're prioritizing him over me, lying about seeing him, having private calls while we're supposed to be spending time together. I am not letting go of my friendship with him just because you're insecure. Deal with it or don't, but I'm not changing. The way she said it, so matter of fact, so entitled, like I was supposed to just accept being option 2 in my own relationship. I felt weirdly calm suddenly. Okay, she smiled, actually smiled, looked relieved. Good, I knew you'd understand. You're not like other guys, that's why I love you. I understand you're choosing him, so I'll go solo from here. Her face scrunched up, confused. What does that mean? It means you keep your ex. I keep my dignity. We're done. Goodbye. Took her a second to process. Then the panic hit. Wait, what? You're breaking up with me? Yeah. Over this? Over me having a friend? Over you lying, prioritizing him, and just straight up telling me to deal with being disrespected. I'm good, actually. She started crying immediately. Full waterworks. You can't be serious. I thought you were different. I thought you trusted me. I did trust you. Then you lied about Friday. Trust gone. That was one time that I know about. How many times did you decompress alone and actually hang out with him? Silence. Her face said, everything. That's what I thought. You need to leave. This is my apartment. I'm here all the time, though. We were talking about me moving in. You don't pay rent here. Your name isn't on the lease. Please leave. The tears turned to anger fast. You're being a child, throwing away 8 months over nothing. Nah, I'm being someone who genuinely respects himself. There's a completely clear difference between the two. She grabbed her stuff, laptop, charger, the hoodie she'd left here last week. Kept muttering about how I was overreacting, how I'd regret this, how no one would put up with my jealousy issues. At the door, she turned around. You know what? Fine. See how long it takes before you're begging me to come back. I'm a catch, and you just screwed yourself. Doubt it. Bye. Closed the door. Locked it. Stood there for a minute, just breathing. My buddy Nate texted right after. Turns out she'd already posted on Instagram, when your boyfriend chooses his ego over love. Blocked her on everything. Instagram, Snapchat, her number. Done. It's been 2 days now. Feel weird, but not bad. Like I should be more upset, but mostly I'm just relieved. Spent 2 weeks walking on eggshells, second-guessing myself, wondering if I was being paranoid. Finding out I wasn't feels validating. The next few days brought exactly the escalation I expected, but somehow worse than I'd imagined. After blocking her, she tried calling about 25 times from her number. When that didn't work, she borrowed Kelly's phone around 7 p.m. yesterday. Finally. Why did you block me? That's so immature. Is this my ex using someone else's phone to violate a boundary? We need to talk about this. We did talk. You said you're keeping Chad regardless of how I feel. I said, okay, I'm out. You didn't let me explain. You just made a snap decision. You had 2 weeks to explain. You spent them lying and calling me insecure. Are you seriously ending things over a friendship? Same script. Like she couldn't comprehend that actions have consequences. Not a friendship. Emotional affair. Gotta go. Hung up. Blocked Kelly's number too. An hour later, Amanda texted, maybe you should hear her out. She's really upset. No misunderstanding. She chose him. I chose me. You're being really unfair. We're not together anymore, so my fairness isn't her problem. That got me blocked by Amanda. Then Diana called this morning. Didn't answer. She left a voicemail about how I was punishing Megan like she'd committed a crime over a small mistake. How disappointed she was in my handling of this. Small mistake. Interesting characterization of sustained lying and emotional cheating. Work was odd today. Our mutual friend from my investment firm pulled me aside. What happened with you and Megan? She's saying you dumped her out of nowhere. She's been basically dating her ex for a month. She said you got jealous because she was being friends with an old friend. His eyes widened when I explained the real story. Oh, she left out details. He showed me the group chat where she'd written about my supposed trust issues. I screenshotted it. I'm team you on this. That's shady as hell. The real kicker came tonight around 6 p.m. Someone knocked on my door. looked through the peephole. It was her with bags of takeout from my favorite Thai place. Didn't open it. She knocked again. I know you're home. Your car's downstairs. Please, I just want to talk. Ignored her. I brought food, your favorite pad Thai. We can just eat and discuss this calmly. More knocking. Then she started crying in the hallway. I miss you. This is stupid. We're good together. You're throwing everything away because you're being stubborn. I texted her from my laptop using Google Voice and she was blocked. I'm not opening the door. You need to leave or I'm calling building security about harassment. She read it. Could tell from the way she checked her phone. Then she left the food outside my door and walked away. Found the Thai food 20 minutes later with a note. I'm sorry for lying about Friday. I was wrong. But you're wrong too for not giving me a chance to fix this. We're supposed to be a team. Please don't give up on us. I love you. I'll always love you. Put the food in my fridge. Threw away the note. Here's the thing. Part of me gets that she's probably panicking because reality just hit her. She genuinely thought I'd just accept being second place because I'd been so understanding before. Now she's realizing understanding had limits. But the bigger part of me is absolutely done. Because even now, even in her apology note, she's still making it about my stubbornness, my refusal to work on it, my unwillingness to be a team. Zero actual accountability for the lying, the prioritizing him, the disrespect. Just, I'm sorry, but you're also wrong. Nah, I'm good. Nate suggested documenting everything in case she escalates. His brother went through something similar, and his ex made false claims when he wouldn't take her back. So that's what I'm doing. Screenshots, voicemails, writing it down. Probably paranoid, but better safe. Tomorrow I'm changing my door code and letting building management know she shouldn't be allowed up. This is exhausting. I wanted a clean break. Why make everything dramatic? Friday morning, 3 days after the breakup, I woke up to find her sitting in my building's lobby at 6:30 a.m. Just sitting there looking like she hadn't slept, hair messy, yesterday's makeup, holding a Starbucks cup. Morning, she said like this was normal. What are you doing here? Waiting for you. We need to talk. No, we don't. You need to leave. I'm not leaving until you hear me out. I've been thinking. I talked to my therapist. You don't have a therapist. I started seeing one because of this. She said we should communicate our needs clearly, and I haven't been doing that. So I'm here to communicate. My need is for you to leave me alone. Super clear. Bye. I walked past her toward the exit. She followed me out to the sidewalk. You're being cruel. I'm trying to fix things and you won't even listen. There's nothing to fix. You made your choice. I made mine. That's it. You don't even care that I'm hurting. I stopped walking, turned around. You're hurting because you're facing consequences. That's not my problem anymore. You cheated emotionally. You lied repeatedly. And when I called you on it, you told me to deal with it. So I am, by leaving. I wasn't cheating. We're just friends. Cool story. Told it better last time. Still not interested. Got my coffee and went back upstairs to my apartment. She didn't follow, thankfully. Made absolutely sure the doorman clearly understood she wasn't allowed in the building anymore whatsoever. That night around 8 p.m., I got a call from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. This is Kelly, Megan's sister. You need to stop this. Stop what? Playing games with my sister's emotions. She's a wreck. Do you know she's barely eating? She can't focus at work. She's crying constantly. That's unfortunate. Also not my responsibility. She made a mistake. One mistake. And you're punishing her like she committed murder. She made multiple mistakes over multiple weeks. Then told me to accept it or leave. I left. What's the confusion? The confusion is why you're being such a heartless jerk about it. She loves you. Then she should have acted like it. Instead, she prioritized her ex, lied about it, and showed zero respect for our relationship. That's not love. You're just jealous because Chad is more successful than you now. He just got promoted to senior agent, making serious money. I actually laughed. You think I care about her ex's commission? Man, you people will justify anything. She's going to hurt herself over this. If something happens, it's on you. Hung up immediately. Screenshotted the call log. That's manipulative as hell. threatening self-harm to guilt someone into staying. Textbook emotional abuse. Saturday was quiet. Thought maybe the storm was over. Sunday morning, I woke up to 8 missed calls from Diana, Megan's mom, and a string of increasingly aggressive texts. First text: "We need to discuss your treatment of my daughter." Fifth text: "Ignoring me won't make this go away." Last text: "Fine, we'll see how you like being dragged publicly." An hour later, she posted on Facebook about narcissistic abuse, claiming I isolated Megan and controlled who she could talk to. The comments were mixed. Some people who knew us called her out, but others ate it up. Monday at work, one woman from operations approached me. "Your ex made it sound like you were abusive." I explained the real situation. "That tracks," she said. Her story seemed too perfectly victimized. Tuesday, Amanda showed up at my building trying to deliver a letter. The doorman had her leave it with him after she argued for 10 minutes. 3-page, handwritten manifesto from Megan, claiming she did nothing wrong, Chad was just a friend, and I was destroying something beautiful with my insecurities. The kicker: call me by Thursday and we can start fresh. If you don't, I'll know you never really loved me. An ultimatum. She's giving me an ultimatum after everything. I took a picture of the letter, sent it to Nate with the caption, "The audacity." He replied, "Dude, she's unhinged. Don't respond." I wasn't planning to, but here's what I did do. I called a lawyer, just a consultation. 30 minutes cost me $150. Explained the situation, the constant contact attempts, the public defamation, Kelly's threat about self-harm, the showing up at my building, the harassment through Amanda. The lawyer said, "You've got grounds for a restraining order if it continues. Also, her mom's Facebook post is borderline defamation, but proving damages would be hard and probably not worth it. My advice? Document everything. Don't engage at all. And if she shows up one more time, file for the restraining order. You've made your boundaries clear. She's choosing to violate them. So that's the plan. Her deadline is Thursday. When I don't call, I'm guessing she'll escalate one more time. When she does, I'm filing." Part of me feels bad, like she's clearly not handling this well, and maybe I should feel some sympathy for that. But the bigger part of me is just tired. I didn't do anything wrong. I set a reasonable boundary. Don't lie, don't emotionally cheat. She crossed it. I left. That's it. Her inability to accept reality isn't my burden to carry. Nate asked if I regret ending things. Honest answer? Not even a little bit. Every day since the breakup, she's shown me exactly who she is. Manipulative, entitled, zero accountability, willing to lie and twist stories to play victim. Dodged a bullet. Hell, dodged a nuclear missile. Thursday came and went. I didn't call, obviously. Friday morning, 7:20 a.m., she showed up with Chad, her ex-boyfriend, the one this whole thing was about. They came together. Doorman called immediately. "Sir, your ex-girlfriend is here with a male companion demanding to see you. Call the police for trespassing." I went downstairs recording on my phone. Lawyer said it's legal in Colorado. "You had until Thursday," she said defiantly, "and you had until I blocked you to respect boundaries." Chad looked uncomfortable. "She said you two were having communication issues and wanted support." Communication issues? I showed him screenshots of her lying about our canceled date. She said she was exhausted, then went to a brewery with you wearing a sweater bought for our date. That's not communication issues. That's cheating. His face changed. "You said you two were broken up when we went there." "We were basically broken up," she said, panicking. "So you were dating both of us," Chad realized slowly. Cops arrived and escorted them out for trespassing. I provided all my documentation to the officers. The female officer looked at me. "Is this your ex-girlfriend?" "Yes, ma'am. We broke up 2 weeks ago. She's been harassing me, showing up here multiple times, sending people to my door, calling from different numbers. I've documented everything. My lawyer recommended I file for a restraining order if she came back." "That's not harassment," Megan shouted. "I'm trying to fix our relationship." "There is no relationship," I said calmly. "I ended it. You can't force someone to be with you." The male officer turned to her. "Ma'am, is your name on the lease here?" "No, but..." "Then you're trespassing. You need to leave." Chad grabbed her arm. "Come on, let's just go." "No, this is ridiculous. He's being unreasonable." "Ma'am, final warning." She looked at me, tears streaming. "You're really doing this? You're going to have me arrested? You're doing this to yourself. I asked you to leave me alone multiple times. You refused. These are consequences." The officers escorted them both out. I gave them my documentation, screenshots of messages, the Facebook post, call logs, everything. The female officer said I could file for a protection order at the courthouse Monday morning, and they'd be noting this incident in their report. After they left, I just sat on my couch for a while. The whole thing felt surreal. My buddy Nate came over that afternoon with beer and pizza. We didn't talk about it much, just watched basketball and decompressed. The confrontation with Chad there was actually perfect. He saw firsthand how she'd manipulated the situation, lied to both of us. The look on his face when he realized she'd been playing us against each other was priceless. Monday, I filed for the protection order. Had to fill out paperwork, explain the situation to a judge, show all my documentation. He granted a temporary order. She can't contact me, can't come within 500 feet of my home or workplace. There'll be a hearing in 3 weeks where she can contest it, but the lawyer said with my documentation, it'll likely become permanent. The order got served to her Tuesday. I know because Diana called my work Wednesday, which I immediately reported to the lawyer. Violates the protection order. My boss called me into his office. "Your ex-girlfriend's mother called here demanding to speak to you. I told her that's not happening, and if she calls again, we're reporting it to police. Just want to make sure you're okay." "I'm okay. Sorry this is bleeding into work. Not your fault." She sounds unhinged. "You did the right thing getting that order." Wednesday was the first peaceful day I'd had in weeks. No calls, no texts, no surprise visits. Just normal life. I grabbed dinner with Nate, went to the gym, caught up on some Netflix shows without anyone texting their ex on my couch. Thursday evening, I checked my email and found one from Chad. Subject line, "Sorry, man. Hey, I don't expect you to respond to this, and I'll respect if you don't. Just wanted to say I'm sorry for my part in this mess. She told me you two broke up, and she was just nervous to tell people yet. When I realized she'd lied to both of us, I cut contact immediately. For what it's worth, you handled this way better than I would have. She's been blowing up my phone since Friday, calling me a traitor, saying I ruined her life by not backing up her story. Blocked her eventually. Anyway, sorry again. You deserved better than what she put you through." I didn't respond. What's there to say? But it was validating. Confirmation that my reality was actually reality, not the twisted version she'd been selling to everyone. The protection order hearing happened 3 weeks later. She showed up with a lawyer, tried to argue that I was being vindictive, and that her attempts to contact me were just trying to resolve relationship issues. The judge reviewed my documentation, screenshots of the lies, the harassment timeline, the police report from when she showed up with Chad, recordings of threatening voicemails from her family. Her lawyer looked increasingly uncomfortable as the evidence piled up. "Your Honor," her attorney said, "my client admits there were some communication issues in the relationship, but she's seeking counseling and believes this protection order is excessive." The judge looked at Megan. "Ma'am, the respondent made it clear multiple times that he wanted no contact. You continued to contact him through various means, showed up at his residence, and had family members threaten consequences if he didn't reconcile. This isn't about relationship communication. This is harassment. Protection order made permanent. She's not allowed to contact me directly or indirectly for 2 years." As we left the courthouse, I caught a glimpse of her in the parking lot. She looked smaller somehow, defeated. Part of me felt a twinge of something. Not regret exactly, but sadness that it had come to this. Then I remembered her standing in my apartment telling me to deal with it, and the feeling passed. That was 6 months ago. Life has been remarkably peaceful since then. No drama, no walking on eggshells, no wondering if my girlfriend is emotionally cheating. I've been dating casually, nothing serious yet, but I'm in no rush. Through mutual friends, I heard she and Chad tried to make it work for about a month after everything went down. Apparently didn't last. Turns out when your entire connection is based on sneaking around and drama, it doesn't translate well to an actual relationship. Who could have predicted that? She moved back in with her parents after her lease ended, since she couldn't afford the downtown apartment on her marketing coordinator salary alone. Last I heard, she was still telling people I was controlling and couldn't handle her independence. Fine by me. Anyone who believes that story without asking follow-up questions isn't someone I'd want to date anyway. Nate asked me recently what I learned from the whole experience. Honestly, that. People really do tell you who they are if you pay attention. The red flags were there early. The defensiveness when I brought up concerns. The immediate jump to calling me insecure instead of addressing my actual points. The casual way she prioritized someone else's feelings over mine. I also learned that setting boundaries only works if you're willing to enforce them. For too long, I thought being understanding meant accepting disrespect. It doesn't. Being a good partner doesn't mean being a doormat. Most importantly, I learned that my instincts were right. When something feels off, when someone's actions don't match their words, when you find yourself constantly second-guessing your own reasonable concerns, trust that feeling. Don't let someone gaslight you into thinking your standards are too high. The whole thing taught me that walking away can be an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Some people will try to make you feel guilty for having boundaries, will call you controlling for expecting basic honesty and loyalty. Those are exactly the people you need to walk away from. I'm genuinely grateful it happened when it did. 8 months in instead of 8 years, before we moved in together, before marriage, before kids. Imagine trying to co-parent with someone who thinks lying and manipulation are acceptable relationship strategies. These days, I'm more selective about dating, but not cynical. I know what I'm looking for and what I won't tolerate. Clear communication, mutual respect, and someone who sees our relationship as a partnership, not a competition with their past. To anyone going through something similar, trust your gut. Document everything if it escalates. Don't be afraid to involve law enforcement if someone won't respect your boundaries. And remember, you can't control how other people react to your decisions, but you can control whether those decisions align with your values and self-respect. Your dignity isn't negotiable, ever. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is simply walk away from people who don't know how to treat you right. Life's too short to spend it convincing someone to respect you. 6 months later, I can honestly say I've never regretted leaving. Not once. Every quiet evening without drama, every peaceful morning without checking my phone for crisis texts, every normal conversation with friends that doesn't involve defending my reasonable expectations. It all reminds me that I made the right choice. Being single and respected beats being partnered and disrespected every single time.